You're watching Capital City Sunday.
Back with me here on the show is Ben Wickler, the chair of the Democratic Party of Wisconsin. Ben, welcome back to the show.
Sarah, thanks for having me on.
Of course. So this is a long time coming for the Democratic Party of Wisconsin. New maps. What does this mean for the composition of the state legislature moving forward?
For the last 13 years, before the election even happened, you knew the outcome already. Republicans would have giant majorities, even if the majority of the public tried to vote them out. Now, we don't know the outcome, because all we know is that whichever party wins the most votes, they're the most likely to have a majority in the state legislature. This is a 50-50 state. That means that the state assembly in 2024 is up for grabs, and over 2 election cycles, so is the state senate. And that's, good news for democracy, and it means that there's the possibility of good news for Democrats.
Are you going to see more candidates willing to run this time around when it's more competitive this way?
Absolutely. And there are candidates that I've been talking to for years in some cases who have not wanted to run when their district was rigged for permanent Republican control, but now are planning to throw their hat in the ring. And I think that the opportunity for folks is to not just be part of winning their district, but to be part of making history, to be part of a generational shift towards people who believe that the voters should decide who has power in our state government, who believe the will of the people shall be the law of the land. These are basic foundational ideas in a democracy, but they will unleash a new wave of energy and a new generation of political leaders in the state of Wisconsin.
Now, as you've discussed, we've talked about this a little bit earlier in the show here. Right now there are going to be, under these new maps, more districts that lean Democratic that didn't before. And then we're also going to see some districts that are going to be more competitive than before, that don't lean either way. That will be a toss-up. And that's very much in the western part of our state. We're seeing that come to play here with these new maps right now. So how does the party's strategy adjust now that we know what the lines are going to be come November?
Well, you can look in western Wisconsin, you can look in Green Bay, you can look in Sheboygan, north of Milwaukee, and south of Milwaukee, and you can look in Wausau, north central Wisconsin, all over the place. There's this flowering of democracy. And what it means for the Democratic Party is that we've got to not only support our legislative caucuses, Greta Neubauer and Diane Hesselbein, the Assembly and Senate leaders, in recruiting great candidates, but also make sure we have a strong organizing presence everywhere, work with our county party leaders, our local activists, fundraise, do all the things we can to get the word out. If you ask voters what they want the state legislature to do, they want great public schools. They want opportunity for people. They want to expand Medicaid. They want to protect access to abortion and reproductive freedom. They want to legalize marijuana in the state of Wisconsin. These are things with enormous popularity, and the state legislature has done none of them. So people want change. We need to give people the chance to create change by casting a ballot for people that don't want to do things the old way, that want to bring a new day.
Let's turn now to Eric Hovde's official announcement that he's running against Senator Tammy Baldwin in the U.S. Senate race. He's a businessman with deep pockets. When he ran for Senate 12 years ago, he was not afraid to reach into those pockets. Tammy Baldwin, also a very good fundraiser, popular with the voters as well. Both of them battle-tested. Tammy Baldwin, a little more so, of course. She's been in, she's been in Congress for a very long time. So, as you said, not races to be taken for granted here, Ben. So how do Democrats work now?
Step one in the Senate race is to make sure people remember what Tammy Baldwin has done as a senator. She has taken on special interests and fought for Wisconsin. She is the author of the provision to cap the cost of insulin for people on Medicare. She authored the provision that lets people under 26 stay on their parents' health insurance in the Affordable Care Act. She's the #1 champion of Buy America policies, and she's the leader in the fight for reproductive freedom, the Women's Health Protection Act, to make sure that the abortion protections of Roe versus Wade are federal law. She's behind all of that, and she will not stop until those things have been gone from being bills to being turned into statutes, and even more on drug prices, lowering costs, things that matter to most people in our state. And on the other hand, you have Eric Hovde, who has been living a luxurious life, running a bank in California, voted one of Orange County, California's most influential citizens 3 years in a row. And he's been handpicked by Mitch McConnell to fly back to Wisconsin and run for Senate against Tammy Baldwin so they can get their national abortion ban through. When people find out what this guy's all about and they see what Tammy Baldwin has done, I think this is a race that we win.
Ben Wickler, chair of the Democratic Party of Wisconsin, thanks so much for taking a few minutes to be with us.
Thank you so much.
Of course. I reached out to Hovde's campaign to clarify his current stance on abortion. In a statement, he said the issue of abortion should be left up to voters and, quote, I believe we need exceptions for cases of rape, incest, and to protect the life of the mother. But Senator Baldwin's extreme position to support the abortion of a healthy baby up to the moment of a full-term delivery is unconscionable. Still ahead, hear directly from candidate Hovde on why he's running, plus the chair of the state's Republican Party is here, his take on Hovde's bid, plus how the GOP will approach a more competitive election season.